Good morning, everyone. This is Royce Miller coming back at you with yet another frozen pizza review. And today on the docket, we have the what has been cited to me as the best frozen pizza, Tombstone. I am curious how it's going to stack up. We have here 3 slices. I had to share. I am trying to be better. Y'all can hate on me all you want, but I am trying to be better. Now, this is a very unique looking pizza because, first off, well, one, it's got a pretty thick crust for a normal pizza or for a normal frozen pizza. But secondly, it's got little mini pepperonis as well as the big pepperonis. So let's try it. Immediately, I do see why this is the best. Why people say this is the best. This is the most realistic taste, tastes like a real pizza, frozen pizza so far. The sauce isn't as present as it is with the other pizzas. And it's a lot, it's not as sweet as the Red Baron. It has kind of a canned or jarred marinara taste to it, which, is fine. Like, that's literally what pizza sauce is. It's just marinara sauce. The little mini pepperonis, I do believe they are higher quality than the mini pepperonis that are on the Totino's pizza. And the crust, despite being a little bready, or a little thicker, is not nearly as bready as the other pizzas. Let's try one of the normal pepperonis on its own. I will say the toppings seem a little cheaper overall, but it makes up for it by having a higher quality overall experience. Oh. I feel weird wearing this shirt, but because it's more of an undershirt, but it is laundry day, so I'm kind of down to the wire here. It's very interesting. Honestly, I think where this pizza succeeds the most, though, for me, is the cheese. Like, here, let's get some of that cheese on its own. It's, it's weird. I thought at first that I was tasting more cheese in this than I was, but I don't know, there's something about it. It is a weirdly higher quality pizza experience overall, even though the component parts aren't necessarily all that good. what's really selling that pizza for me is the grease. There's a lot of grease in it. I think maybe that's what I'm tasting. Um, which may be weird to some of you, but like pizza's supposed to be greasy, especially if it's got a topping like pepperoni on it. Like cheese sweats grease so much. If you ever get a cheese pizza, it's really greasy. So let's see. Okay. Where does it rank? The crust I'll give a 5. It was actually a very pleasant crust. The sauce, again, I prefer a sweeter sauce. We'll say a 4. That cheese was decent. Like, it was real cheese. Um, oh, Lord. My grease is already causing me indigestion. Maybe it's a good thing my cousin brother ate the rest of it. Um, let's see. Cheese, so let's see. So 5, 4, and then cheese I'll give a 5. And then the toppings, the pepperoni, I'll give another 5. Like, I don't want to be contrarian and be like, oh, this pizza's not as good. But, like, I do, other than the crust, I'll bump the crust up to a 6. I did think that crust was pretty decent. To me, it's just a very middle of the road pizza. So let's see. So, 6 plus 4 is 10. Then I believe I gave the other two 5, so 10 plus 10 is 20, divide 4 is 5, so it literally the most average pizza. And remember, this isn't like a failing grade. This isn't an F. This is a 5 here is a C. But I feel like I do have to kind of give it an extra point just because like there is kind of that weird X factor with this one. It has a much more realistic pizza experience. I hate using like weird terms like that, but like it's more pizza-y than Red Baron or Totino's. Like it does taste almost like it could have come from a real pizzeria. So I'll add on an extra point for that. So we'll say it's a 6. If I run into more X factors in the future, I'll try to list them. Tombstone is such a weird name for a pizza chain too, or a pizza company too. I believe it's named after. I think there is a real place called Tombstone. It's like a place in Arizona, I think. It's one of those like Wild West towns, like how Deadwood is in South Dakota, or the OK Corral, wherever that is. Red Baron also has a really strange name, because like it's named after an actual person who existed, a German pilot who was part of whatever you called the enemy powers in World War One. I don't think we had the idea of the Axis yet. Um, and the Axis back then was kind of weird too, because let's see, it was Germany, Austria, Hungary, and I believe what are their names? The Ottomans, the Ottoman Empire. So you had a lot of like that old world aristocracy banding together. You had the Kaiser, the Emperor, or was it Holy Roman Emperor? Maybe I can't remember. and you had the, well, I guess the Sultan had been deposed, or whatever the ruler of the Ottoman Empire was before the Progress people took over. Mind you, my knowledge of World War One very spotty, because remember, like, they kind of skip over it in U.S. history, because we always talk about World War Two, never World War One. World War One is the one we don't talk about because it's got the trench warfare, which isn't very okay to teach in schools for some reason. Like because you have trench foot, you have chemical warfare, and then you have World War Two, which has, oh man, we were the good guys. We fought this amazing, we fought to destroy an axis of evil. And it's like, I don't know. It's like with Terminator. Everyone knows there's a first one, but they're always talking about the second one. I made this joke to Andy, who had also mentioned that in my video, that it's weird that we named a pizza after a German soldier, or a German pilot who was an enemy of the United States. So it'd be, I think I said something to the effect of, like, okay, kids, get ready for your Rommel chicken fingers. That's kind of like the equivalent that we'd have nowadays. As for Tombstone, like, I don't associate cowboys with pizza. Then again, I don't associate pilots with pizza either. Wasn't there a movie called Tombstone with Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, where it was oh Lord, what is his name? Kurt Russell and Batman Forever Batman. He played Moses in Prince of Egypt. God, I can't remember his name. Prince of Egypt, by the way, great film. Possibly DreamWorks' best work, other than maybe Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon. I hate Shrek, but yeah, Prince of Egypt, and like Prince of Egypt kind of does that like thing. Is the first time you see casting take into account like who is voicing who, because all the Hebrews in Prince of Egypt are voiced by Jewish actors. Moses, Jewish actor. His brother is played by Jeff Goldblum. His sister is, I think, Sandra Bullock. And then all the Egyptians are voiced by Brits. You have Ralph Fiennes as Moses' brother, Ramses, I think, and then you have Patrick Stewart as as Moses' adopted father. I think Ramses the First or whatever. Helen Mirren is his adoptive mother. The only American, and then you have two Americans two American wasps. I think they're wasps. I don't know. You have Stephen Martin and Martin Short, or as I call them collectively, Steve Martin Short, as the magicians. Also, that one it's weird because like in the biblical story, the magicians are able to kind of go toe-to-toe with Moses' miracles for a little bit. Like, they can also make their rod into a snake. They can also turn water red, yada, yada, yada. But in the DreamWorks film, Prince of Egypt, it's portrayed as them doing parlor tricks. Also, like, when I found out that king cobras are actually pretty chill with humans, I kind of now want a more kiddie version of the Moses, of like the Exodus story, where Moses' staff becomes basically his animal sidekick, and that would be very dumb, very cringe, but like again, like king cobras are apparently like they don't want to attack humans because like humans too big to eat, and it takes a lot of energy to inject venom into something. Like, the reason why cobras don't attack you when you're doing the flute thingy isn't necessarily just because of, like, the movement of the flute. It's because they're like, you're not worth attacking. Because their first line of defense is to pose up. That's what cobras do. They pose up. They make themselves look big to try and threaten you off. And their primary diet is other snakes. They are cannibals. That is why it's called the king cobra, the snake eater. You know, like how the T-Rex, king of the dinos. And this conversation about pizzas led to me talking about cobras and an animated DreamWorks film from the 90s. Great music, too. Hans Zimmer, so good. And the best song to me is The Plagues, where it goes through the plagues. And the lines that are supposed to be gods, basically, like their Bible quotes or Torah quotes, whatever you want to call them, are sung by a choir. And also, it is, to me, kind of the villain song. And because God is not an antagonistic force, per se, but God is definitely, like... God is, like, trying to be, like... God is basically forcing Moses, in this movie, to be God's arbiter. I don't want to gender God, because, like, if you ever actually read the Bible, or the Torah, like, whatever, God is not supposed to be gendered. God is not a white man in a robe. That is Zeus. God is a being beyond our comprehension. To look upon God would be to dissolve into a pillar of salt. You know, there is something very eldritch about the Judeo-Christian God. They are beyond anything we can conceive of. But anyway, that's... What? Oh, God. Wait. 17 minutes? Oh, my God. Sorry about that. The pizza was good. Y'all know, the Royce Miller. I'm outie.